Happy New Year, everybody. It's not July, it's January 1st, 2026, and have some updates. So obviously haven't posted anything in over a year. Um, but anyway, some news is that I do not have a sled this year. So I went down to my hometown for Christmas, brought the sled with me. There was a ton of snow there, and a friend of mine in Dallas, he bought my sled for me. He rode it and asked me how much I wanted, and I told him, and he basically bought it on the spot. So that was good because that was gonna be a hard snowmobile for me to sell. I was thinking about getting a new Lynx, and I wasn't gonna do it, and then I just figured, what the hell, why not? And I was gonna put that my XM up for sale. But I knew because it's so custom that I would have a lot of trouble selling it. Uh, so anyway, luckily, my buddy kind of knows what went into that sled, and yeah, so I got what I consider a reasonable price for it, and let it go, and so he's going to enjoy it. And the cool thing is, if I go back to town this winter, he says I can still use it if I want. So that's good. But the I think big change is in February when the 2027s come out. I'm going to spring order a new sled. So it'll be the first time in a very long time, 22 years, that I will essentially order a new sled. So I'm planning. I don't know what the 27s are going to be like, but based on what the 26s are, I'm really seriously considering a Lynx X Terrain. And I'm leaning pretty heavily to the four-stroke as well, the 900 Turbo R. The 850 Turbo looks intriguing, but I think with the way I'm riding these days, more on the groom trails, some stuff off the groom trails when I go back home and go to camp, but nothing like I was doing when I first got here, where I was basically just bush riding. So I have not been doing that anymore. So I think the 900 would be pretty like good engine for that. The little bit of extra weight in the front, I don't think is going to be a big deal. And yeah, so I'll probably have a few accessories on it. Mostly things like skid plate, the radiator kit. I want to move the gauge up a little bit because I'm kind of 50-50 stand up, sit down, but having the gauge higher would be good. And the E-Link and a couple other little doodads here and there. The links are pretty spec'd right out. Like, there's not really much you can add to them for options. As far as if I'll do anything to it, I don't know. Like, probably not much to the engine at first. I'm mainly interested in durability modifications. So I'm thinking of things like brace kits, greasable bushings, replacing chintzy plastic parts with aluminum or metal parts. But the Lynx doesn't really have too many of those issues. So yeah, pretty much like maybe some turbo piping and airbox clamps and just stuff that will help the longevity and the reliability of it. I'm not necessarily interested in more power, because like 180 horsepower is like a freaking good amount. And if I do any type of performance modification, I think that I would probably look at the MCX 210 kit to give you another, 25-ish, 30 horsepower. I think that would be perfectly fine. I don't want to get into things like custom turbos and, standalone ECUs and all that crap, because the honestly, the price you pay for the power you get gets ridiculous. 1,000 or 1,500 or 1,500 bucks for 30 horsepower. Yeah, I can do that. But some of these other ones, to go to 250, you're spending multiple thousands more. And well, the way I ride, it's just not. It's just for me, it'd just be something to brag about. I would never ever use that much power. So yeah, anyway, but I think I'll just drive it as is the first year, and then do the Vespel sliders and all the durability stuff, which is pretty minimal cost. And honestly, that's probably all I'll need. I just want it to be reliable, and I think it'd be plenty fun, like a sled that'll be really fun to have. Um, the 850 turbo is intriguing because it's a bit lighter and it's a two-stroke, and the big argument is the four-stroke will last longer, but the four-stroke is about 20 times more complicated than the two-stroke in terms of mechanical moving parts and specialty tools required to work on them. So I can tear apart an 850 turbo in my bloody sleep, but I can't do that with a 900 turbo. I don't have a ton of experience working on four-stroke motors, and I don't have a lot of the tools required. But so the argument, besides, if a two-stroke breaks, I can fix it myself. If a four-stroke decides to grenade, that's not something I can necessarily tackle on my own. So there's an argument to be said for that. Yeah, I know the two-stroke will not last as long, but again, I can rebuild it in 2 days. So whereas the four-stroke, not the case. Anyhow, if any of you guys have any of these sleds or any of these engines and want to chime in with your 2 cents, feel free to post a comment, and I'd be very interested to hear from you. I've been doing a lot of research on the pros, cons of each motor and what it's like to live with and what their issues are and things I have to look out for, and common failures and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, that's the update for now, and hopefully there'll be another video or 2 out this winter. I mean, I'm not going to be posting too much because I obviously don't have a ride, but if I do go out and I bring the GoPro, I'll definitely try to get some footage. Anyway, thanks for sticking around, and hope everybody's going to have a great 2026.